Rated mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? It's time for the final countdown. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's rock.
Broadcasting from the Big Peach of Atlanta, Georgia. A show unfiltered, unscripted, raw. The Patriot Angle Podcast. All right, folks, welcome to the show. Welcome, guys. We got a lot to talk about. I want to get into the Marjorie Taylor Greene story, like what's going on with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Well, a news story coming out of earlier today, the hearing that was, Atlanta, Georgia, of just a lot of people questioning that they're labeling her as a conspiracy theory peddling Georgia Republican, which I don't know why they have to, label her as that, she's a woman that's speaking truth for that matter. She's speaking truth, and, when somebody speaks truth, they're always labeled as a conspiracy theorist, a this, a that. Now, here is the attorney, folks, who questioned Marjorie Taylor Greene on this key issue of the January 6th event. I'm not calling it insurrection. I'm calling it an event. That's all it was, folks. It was an event, like a protest. Check this out, guys.
Rogers hired a hitman, shot me twice, and left me for dead. We have to nail this guy, Harry.
Yeah, we do. But we do it my way this time. This is just the beginning.
In fact, you think that Speaker Pelosi is a traitor to the country, right?
I'm not answering that question. It's speculation.
You've said that, haven't you, Ms. Greene, that she's a traitor to the country?
No, I haven't said that.
Okay. Put up Plaintiff's Exhibit 5, please.
Oh, no, wait. Hold on now. I believe by not upholding the securing the border, that violates her oath of office.
Fair enough. I'm not interested in her oath of office. I'm interested in that.
You hear that, folks? He's not interested. The judge, right? The lawyer, right? The lawyer's not interested in the oath of office. Not interested in the oath of office. But he's interested in just narratives that he wants to hear. Right? Now, these supposed, anti-green challengers that are trying to pretty much throw Marjorie Taylor Greene under the bus. They're trying to bring up all this type of evidence that Representative Greene was actually engaged in the insurrection after she took the oath of office on January 3rd, 2021. They're doing all this. Now, also, folks, there's a recommendation that was submitted to Georgia's Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, who accepted the decision later on Friday night and formally ruled that Greene will stay on the ballot. But these anti-Greene challengers said in a statement right after that they'll appeal Raffensperger's decision in state courts. Oh, they're going to repeal it? Do whatever you want to do. But the decision is final. If that judge finds no significant evidence, significant, meaning facts, folks, then it becomes insignificant, meaning that their facts cannot hold the case. And when you don't have facts to hold the case, what normally happens? The case gets thrown out. And I think that's what's going to happen, folks. The case is going to get freaking thrown out. The only thing you're going to see is a bunch of anti-Greene people that are going to whine, bitch, and moan because they didn't get their way. That's basically what's going to happen. Literally. That's what's going to happen. Relating to this whole story here, this article, that Madison Cawthorn's lawyer argues that states can't enforce age and residency rules for congressional candidates. Okay. The judge also concluded that there was no persuasive evidence that Greene had taken direct actions to help the insurrectionists, such as physical efforts, contribution of personal services or capital, insurance of directives or marching orders, transmissions of intelligence, or even statements of encouragement. Now, her militant rhetoric about the election wasn't enough to link her to the attack. And then also, too, folks, that her public statements and heated rhetoric may well have contributed to an environment that ultimately led to the invasion. This is saying Bedrick, the concluded, right? The judge. But expressing constitutional protective political views, no matter how aberrant they may be, prior to be sworn in as a representative, is not engaging in insurrection under the 14th Amendment, and therefore isn't disqualifying. You heard it, folks. It's right in the amendment. Now, folks, you know what this is? This is another outcome. Another setback in the liberal back efforts to hold Republican officials responsible for not only certain actions, but they're using this for the January 6th event. Now, it also raises questions about whether similar constitutional challenges will stand a chance even now against former President Donald Trump if he does decide to run in 2024. But, folks, there is a lot of bevy of well-funded Democrat lawyers behind this whole political smear. They are trying to win elections by disqualifying members of Congress such as Marjorie Taylor Greene. They're doing everything in their freaking power, folks, to literally squash the movement. Literally. And, Marjorie Taylor Greene, folks, she testified for more than 3 hours at the hearing, becoming the first member of Congress to answer questions under oath about January 6th. She denied knowing about plans for violence and repeatedly said she could not remember key facts, like what she discussed with White House officials about the transfer of power and with whom she spoke as January 6th approached. Now, there's one piece of evidence that stood out to the judge, was an interview Greene gave to Newsmax the day before the attack, where she was asked what the plan was for the joint session of Congress where Biden's victory would be certified. She said, "This is our 1776 movement, or moment," she referred. And the challengers claimed it was a coded message intended to spur Trump supporters for violence. Oh, it was an intention? Okay. Again, folks, people misleading words. Now, if she said this is our 1776 moment, that could have been anything, folks. That could have been what the four founding fathers envisioned for America. That could have been what America stood for back in 1776 and continues to stand for, 200 some odd years later. That could have been anything, folks. Anything. But these are just people stirring the pot. Now, Bob, Greene's lawyer, said Friday that the challengers' views about the 1776 comments were a ridiculous distortion of a simple statement, and praised at the judge's conclusion on the matter. And then get this, folks, because I got to get a break in here real quick. The judge acknowledged in his ruling that Greene had contacts with people who may have investigated violence. And then, after saying all that, the judge ruled that the evidence does not show that Greene was in contact with, directed, or assisted these individuals, or intended anyone in the planning or execution of the invasion. So, which one was it, folks? Which one was it? She even testified that she couldn't recall if she advocated for Trump to impose martial law, but the texts obtained by CNN show that Greene told Meadows on January 17th, 2021, that he should raise the issue with Trump, even if she wasn't sure if martial law was a good idea. Oh, the texts were obtained by CNN? I wonder how they got all that information, huh? Really? I mean, that's the questions. They seem to rise on that, folks. Be right back after these words. Don't go anywhere.
This is the moment.
The Bachelorette is back. Yeah! And the power
I'm gonna fall in love.
is in Jen's hands.
And I'm gonna do it my way.
ABC Monday.
Everything about her is great.
I feel so special.
Jen's looking like a queen.
My men are very, very hot.
Someone call 911. You are looking so fire.
This is the beginning of a new era.
The Bachelorette. All new Monday, 8/7 Central on ABC. And stream on Hulu.
I think when it's merited, it ought to be provided.
I appreciate everybody's conduct and disciplines. Appreciate everybody scrambling to be here. So with that, I think that concludes the hearing. Everybody and the building, the record is now closed, but I think a lot of microphones are off. So I would suggest you not say anything.
All right, folks. You just heard basically the judge there literally wrapping up Marjorie Taylor Greene hearing. The judge will provide his findings to the Georgia Secretary of State, though he will not rule on the constitutional matter of her eligibility. Now, if you want to know what happens next after the Marjorie Taylor Greene hearing, you could actually go over to this website here, www.11alive.com/article/news and you can find out all the information. Now, here's one thing, folks, and I'm seeing the some comments coming across all over social media with this whole story here. The more I read, right, the more I hear and see what is happening, with everything, right? I'm going to say this one thing, right? The more I see what's happening, not only in the United States, the more I see a country tearing itself apart. And it's true, folks. I mean, we're literally tearing ourselves apart with just conflict after conflict. If it's not COVID, if it's not masks, if it's not social distance, it's not vaccines, it's not this, it's not that. I mean, literally, we are conflict after conflict. Literally, I can tell you right now, folks, relating not only to this story, but I can relate to something a lot. We are one conflict, folks, literally, from tearing our country apart. I mean, we are more divided as a nation than we ever have been in the last 300-400 years. I seriously. But did you get to that one point? If you did see this video, what was this video posted? From 11 Live, yeah. It was mainly a big Metro Atlanta broadcasting network. Did you see the one part where the judge says that the Europeans laugh at us? Well, yeah, Judge, they do. Because they see that we're a country that literally argues on every little freaking conflict. They laugh because we show a total of lack of justice being served with indisputable facts being brought forward in our own courts. Now, here's something, folks. Here's something. I like to say one thing. I have to look for it first before I say this. I got to remember how to say this here. The judge, folks, was asking for clarification on some of the legal issues that the lawyers brought up. Any judge, folks, that is worth anything should do this. If you cannot quote what you consider a precedent for your case, then not verify the precedent itself in your own court filings, where does it go from there, right? Seriously. I mean, you can have Maine versus Johnson, 1987, right? Asking for ancient statues. He didn't use the word statues, but the plaintiff's lawyer did as he was trying to question a hobble horse. But Biddity Bop kept objecting, Now, folks, if that judge had done his job and told him to get a grip, maybe he would have heard one of those ancient statues he was looking for, right? I mean, I don't know if anybody's paying attention to exactly what I'm saying, but I mean, I'm kind of making some good key points here on this whole case. I mean, this judge is like literally just playing it safe, sitting on the fence and trying to please both sides. I mean, that's what basically I was seeing. Was he even listening? What was the question he asked? I mean, literally, folks, this judge made up his mind before the trial even started. Which I think that this hearing shouldn't even have gone to a hearing. There wasn't enough evidence. There was no evidence to begin with. I mean, this was just a representative, folks, that was doing her part as any representative should do for this country. A woman or a man, right? For example, a woman named Marjorie Taylor Greene was trying to not only represent her state of Georgia, but represent her country as a congressional woman, congresswoman. Now, you're going to get all these, liberal kind of people out there coming up with some crazy scenarios saying, I knew this judge was bought and paid for when the MTG insolently said to the prosecution, I'm not going to answer that question, and the judge didn't wake up from his coma to let her know that she would indeed answer the question or be held in contempt. He snored right through it. That's the type of crap and rhetoric you're going to get from the liberal left. They're going to come out with some crazy scenarios like it's all the judge's fault and this and that, and she said and did what she did. It's clear from her own written words or recordings, folks. Literally. It should not matter if she claims to remember it or not. MGT did what she did, and everyone, including her, said their case very clearly. And there was not significant evidence that Marjorie Taylor Greene played a part in the January 6th event. Plain and simple. Case closed. End of story. That's it, folks. No appeals, no nothing. But you know damn well that the liberal left are going to try to appeal this like they try to appeal everything until they get their damn way. Literally. That's what's going to happen. What's going to happen? Now, here's some Georgia voters that react to Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene's controversy. You're going to want to hear this, folks. Check this out. I'm going to plug this in just in a short little bit, but this is mindful. Very interesting. The reason why I'm plugging this in, folks, is because I think it maps out exactly what I'm saying here on the show. This is the reaction to what they think, folks. Check this out.
Back home in Georgia think. Take a listen to some of them.
I voted for her in the primary because I did not like the other candidates, and she looked like the best option. And now I'm like, what in the world was I thinking?
She fights for the people of this district, Washington's corrupt, as we've seen in the last 4 years, all the corruption.
These videos she has made are not in anything that I would ever think about doing or wanting my congressperson to do. She is a disgrace to our district.
She's honest. She's to the point. A lot of people disagree with what she's saying, but she's saying what she believes is right, and she's sticking to her story.
I don't support people who are, what do you call it, conspiracy theories? Yeah.
Theorist.
Right. Yeah.
And just based on her comments and what she's been talking about, I don't think that she supports and defends the Constitution of our country.
Right.
I disagree, with her. I think a lot of these, on both sides of the aisle, I think a lot of the, especially new candidates, I think they run. I don't think they want to legislate. I think they just want to be on the news.
She's just like crazy and a kook. Who thinks that we need to kill people that are the members of Congress? And, just her ideologically is just...
All right, I'm going to stop it right there. I'm going to comment to what the koozie crazy lady there in the red jacket is saying. about she's just crazy and this and that, and then she used the words kill. She didn't say anything about kill. Like, where do you find these people? Like, the craziest people around Metro Atlanta, like literally commenting on Marjorie Taylor Greene. She spreads lies about conspiracy theories and this. What? Okay, so let me say this, right? So if you're coming up with your viewpoints and your opinions, right, and they don't object to someone that does not believe in that, you're automatically considered a conspiracy theorist? Okay, let's flip-flop the scenario. So if we don't agree with your viewpoints, are you considered a conspiracy theorist? It works both ways, right? I mean, folks. Wow. Okay. Right? I mean, that's like going into a baseball stadium or some type of arena somewhere around the country and not supporting the other team, right? You go into a baseball stadium, right? Let's use the Atlanta Braves, right? You're an Atlanta Braves fan. Your friend might be like, I don't know, like a New York Yankees fan or something, right? Now, if you're not a big supporter of the New York Yankees, what's going to happen? You're probably going to get booed on. You're probably going to say, oh my God, what's wrong with you, man? Like, why don't you like the Yankees and this and that? They're a great team. There's going to be a huge debate about it, right? I don't know, folks. I think we become a society where people are so enraged with opinion that they flip-flop the opinion onto something entirely different. I mean, seriously, it's gone on way too long. Folks, the case was closed. She was found with insignificant evidence on playing a part of the January 6th event. She did not commit to acts of violence. She did not engage the insurrectionists of what they're calling them, right? She didn't do any of that crazy content of what these people are claiming for her to do. It was just another case, another agenda to try to squash this GOP movement. They know the midterms are around the corner. They know the 2024 election is upon us. And they're doing everything in their power, folks, to try to squash it, to kill it. That's what's going on. Another agenda by the radical left. Folks, I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. I wanted to give you my side of what I think is kind of wrong of what they're doing to this poor woman, this poor Georgia congresswoman. I mean, she's just doing what's right, man. She's upholding and protecting the Constitution of the United States. She's just a regular patriotic woman. Just because she doesn't share the same viewpoints of the radical left, she's considered ineligible to be a congresswoman? I mean, that's what's going on, folks, right? I mean, that's how I see it. Folks, thanks for tuning in. And remember, folks, starting on May 10th, next week, guys, believe it or not, we will be doing video podcasting on the Rumble app. That's right, guys. Anything that you may or may not hear on YouTube, because YouTube and Facebook, they love the shadow ban. You won't see any of that garbage on Rumble, I can tell you right now. So starting on May 10th, guys, we will be doing a video podcasting on the Rumble app. So you're going to want to look out for that. Haven't decided a handle name on Rumble, but we are just about there. We have signed up as a soft sign up on the Rumble app, but we just haven't made it official yet to our podcast material. So you're going to want to look out for that in the next coming days, which it will be announced here on our social media platforms of both Facebook and the Instagram account. So you're going to want to look out for that. We will be putting out an announcement on our website, the Patriot Angle Podcast, right? The main website, patriotanglepodcast.com. So look out for that announcement. As well, guys, you can hear all of our audio episodes on every podcast platform, including Spotify and Apple Music. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Have a great weekend, guys. You just heard an episode of the Patriot Angle podcast. Remember to follow us on Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon Music, and Audible. Also streaming live on Twitch. Remember to follow and like us, guys, for unfiltered, uncensored, raw content. Also, please head over to www.patriotanglepodcast.com for all your exclusive Patriot Angle podcast content and material, as well as the merchandise website, www.patriotunfiltered.com. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.